All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We really need to confront a harsh reality here. It is June 2026. We've officially hit the mid-year mark. It's an incredibly crucial time, and the source material we're unpacking today lays out a radical kingdom recalibration. We're looking at the direction calibration breakthrough, and it's basically a complete shift in our operating system. We're moving away from simply running fast and finally asking the ultimate question: who are you actually running towards?
Think about it. You've run incredibly hard for 6 straight months. The source text poses a really direct challenge to us right now, and I just have to ask you, are you genuinely closer to your divine destiny, or are you honestly just more exhausted? Because the reality is, if you're on the wrong track, running faster is only going to take you further away from where you're meant to be.
First up, we're tackling the ultimate lie of speed.
We have to completely deconstruct this cultural idol, because frankly, it is destroying so many professionals today. The world pushes you onto this frantic hamster wheel where speed automatically equals success. It's like, if your calendar's packed, you must be important, right? But the kingdom framework declares something entirely different. Direction is infinitely greater than speed. The object of your pursuit matters so much more than the velocity of your performance. So, let's dive into the biblical breakthrough law and the heavenly strategy behind it.
To really get this, the text points us straight to Ecclesiastes 9:11. This verse completely shatters the worldly myth that just running faster or relying on your own human strength is going to guarantee a victory. It's a massive paradigm shift. It completely invalidates the old speed and strength rules that modern society is built on. The second half of that verse is where we find the true metric. True success in the kingdom is about stepping into God's divine timing. The Greeks called this kairos. It's not about burning yourself out on a treadmill of your own making. It's about being in the right place at the exact right time, perfectly aligned with the right purpose. Which brings us to a critical realization. We can never rely on chariots and horses. Psalm 27 is so clear on this. It reminds us that while the world relies on its horses, and let's be real, today those horses are our tech stacks, our bank accounts, our institutional strategies, our KPIs, we have to anchor our faith strictly in the authority of God's name. In biblical times, a horse wasn't a pet. It represented serious military might, speed, and systemic power. Now, notice a really vital distinction here. The source material is very clear. Having resources is not a bad thing. God actually wants you to manage resources. But elevating them to the throne of your life, that's a fatal error. You manage the resources, absolutely, but you depend entirely on the king. Because if you put your trust in your resources, the very second they shake, your entire foundation is going to crumble. To escape that trap, we need the throne's glory vision. We have to look up from the hamster wheel. Revelation 19:11 gives us this breathtaking, incredibly authoritative vision of the heavens opening. And the text notes something fascinating. Revelation was originally written to a persecuted, highly anxious church. They were terrified, asking, who actually wins this thing? God didn't give them an escape plan. Instead, he gave them a picture of the heavens opening, proving that he is absolutely not out of control. The king on the white horse has already won. He's not just sitting around waiting for the future to become king. He already is the king, and he's riding out in righteousness to establish his sovereign rule. What that means for us is when we run, we aren't running towards some terrifying unknown. We're running from a guaranteed position of victory. And because of that, biblical judgment isn't about worldly destruction or some fear-based apocalypse. It is actually the triumphant restoration of divine order. It's setting right what was wrong. It's stopping the oppressor and inaugurating the new heavens and the new earth. That is the glorious endpoint we are aligning ourselves with.
So how do we actually execute this? We align with the victorious king.
With this prophetic perspective firmly in place, everything becomes clear. We are transitioning from exhausted, isolated individuals into what the text calls an ecclesia. This is a governing kingdom ecosystem. It's deeply marked by servant leadership and divine authority. It's no longer about you as a single person hustling for success. It's about a united group governing alongside the king. For the second half of 2026, the source gives us a very direct action plan. First, you must practically align your daily life and your schedule with the king. Second, boldly calibrate your direction. Listen, if you realize you're on the wrong path, turning around is literally the biggest progress you can make. And third, you have to utterly reject the deception of short-term worldly success. And you know what? You can do this. You can do this because of a profound promise found in Haggai 2:23. You can stop striving for validation. You can stop performing just to feel safe because this verse decrees that your identity is already permanently sealed and chosen by the King. You are his signet ring. Belonging is what creates stability, and that stability is what fuels your true mission. When you govern alongside the King with that kind of secure identity, you start experiencing the promise of Habakkuk 3:19. You move out of that anxiety-fueled sprinting, and you start confidently treading upon the high places of your calling. You don't stop moving, but your movement is now filled with this deep internal peace and total divine authority. So as we close out this mid-year explainer, I want to leave you with one final piercing question to just really meditate on for the rest of 2026. Take a hard look at your calendar, your goals, your daily grind. Are you just running fast to keep up with the world? Or who are you actually running towards?